Hi guys, Sandy with Chronic Pain Stinks, and this is like my fourth try. Let's see if it's going to work. I'm trying to watch how I hold this. I'm coming to you today from our newly remodeled bathroom, and I'll explain that in a few minutes, and I'll show you a couple things that it's kind of interesting, but I just kind of wanted to show it off a little bit. Today's video is about how our body reacts to chronic pain. Chronic pain can have a significant effect on our bodies and our mind. Your mind and your body are not designed to withstand being in pain for prolonged periods of time. I'm looking away because I'm looking at my notes. Anyway, one of the biggest impacts that chronic pain has on our brain, it affects our moods. And that's really, really important because, anybody knows that when they're in pain, they're like a different person. Well, when you're in chronic pain, that means you are going to be I don't want to use the word forever because not everybody's going to be in chronic pain, forever. Some people find cures. Some people are able to have surgeries, whatever. But it does affect our moods. And that affects how we deal with life in general, with our families, with our friends. It's very difficult. It's really difficult to come to terms with it. I know that when I was diagnosed with chronic pain, I decided it was going to be a lot easier just to roll with the flow of it, because if I tried fighting it, it was just exhausting. I couldn't continue it. And, so I turned to the doctors, and I had no one else. I mean, no one that I know of has ever been in chronic pain. So, but anyway, I decided it would be best if I tried to make friends with my chronic pain. And I know it sounds stupid, but it's the best thing you can do. Okay, I'm looking away because I'm looking at my notes. Like I said, this is like my fourth take because my camera kept going off. I learned quickly that it was really, really hard to be friends with chronic pain. I thought, oh, that'll be easy. No, it wasn't. And it first kind of felt like it took all the joy out of my life. I'm looking away because I'm looking at my notes. I soon decided that I had to work hard to live the life I really wanted. I ended up losing my job. I ended up being putting on permanent disability through Social Security. And I then told my neurosurgeon I was done. No more surgeries. I'd had two. They both failed. And the third surgery that they were talking about, it didn't look like it was going to really do what I wanted it to do. And I just said no, I was done. And then the financial problems started. My husband is a heart patient. I don't know if I've mentioned that before. He had his first heart attack when he was 40. My daughter was 2 months old. And so we went through a lot there. And it was really, really scary because I had to learn to stay home with him and, 24 hours a day. And we had to figure out our finances, how we were going to do it. And of course, everything works out. When you try and you work together, it'll work out. And my future videos will... Okay, I'm sorry. I dropped the camera. My future videos will explain a lot more about my personal interest, experience. Maybe I'll just do one video on what transpired from the time, from the first actual time I knew I was going to be, that I was in pain. It was after really actually the first surgery. And the biggest thing that you need to remember as a chronic pain patient is not only does chronic pain affect you, it also affects your friends, your family, and everybody that you're around. Having to ask for help is really, really hard. So for someone trying to accept chronic pain, the first thing that I would recommend is learn how to say, or learn how to know that it's okay to say, I need a little bit of help. I need some help doing those dishes, or I need some help cooking supper tonight. That, lean on your family, lean on your friends, because they would do it for you. And, they would you would do it for them, is what I'm trying to say. So chronic pain can affect your stress levels. And your mind thinks that when you're stressed, when your mind knows that you're stressed, it reacts. And there's medical terminology for it all, where your body produces endorphins, and your body goes into like well, let's put it this way. If somebody's chasing you and you're running, and you're running and you're running, you know what that's like. That's what your mind is doing when you're in chronic pain, because you're trying to run away from it, so to speak. And your body gets stressed, your mind is trying to deal with it. And it's most important that you can recognize situations and say, okay, it's all right. I'll be okay. I don't need to try to put more strain onto my mind and my body here. Okay, a lot of chronic pain patients will at one point or another, or maybe not ever, need the services of a psychiatrist or a counselor or group therapy. I never had an option for group therapy, but I thought that might be pretty cool, because then you'd meet other people and see how they deal with it. And, but once you accept your chronic pain, you're over your first hurdle. And, I think the next video I'm going to do is going to be about how you enjoy life. And unfortunately, our weather's getting ready to turn pretty darn cold. So it's going to, I was going to try to do it outside, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. So now I want to show you a couple things. When I went to visit my daughter in Gillette, Wyoming, which is on the other side of, across the state of Wyoming. And I was there for a week. My husband took me, and my husband came to pick me up. Well, while I was gone, we live on a pretty busy street, and it turned out to be a main street around our town. We don't live in the city limits. We live outside the city limits. When we first moved in, it was kind of in the country, but now there's houses everywhere. So it's outside the city limits, and it's quiet usually. Well, this road has gotten considerably busy. We get used to it. You don't hear the traffic or the cars very much. Well, one night I was in Gillette at my daughter's. About 11:30, my next door neighbor called me. She lives across the highway from me, and she said, I just heard a series of gunshots, and I think your house got shot, and I want to make sure you guys are okay. And I said, you know what? I'm not home. I said, let me call you right back. So I hurried up and I called my husband. Now, mind you, it's 11:30 at night, and my husband's like being the heart patient, and he's real moody, and especially when he's tired. And he answered on the second ring. I was surprised. I thought, well, maybe he was awake. Nope. He was sound asleep. And when I told him what my neighbor told me, he said, I haven't heard a thing. I said, okay, bye. And he went back to sleep. 5 o'clock in the morning, and now I'm asleep. He calls me, and he said, I found a bullet in the bathroom. He said, I'm waiting right now for the sheriff to get here. And at least, he called the sheriff before he called me. And his sister lives with us, or my sister-in-law. And he woke her up. She was all okay. And she went into the bathroom I'm in now, the one we just remodeled that I'm going to show you here in a second. And she found a bullet on the washer. Now, this is the washer. Let me move my stuff here. See if I can get a shot of it. Let me turn this around real quick. Hang tight. I'm turning you around, but you can still hear me. I think I'm turning you around.